now I am officially going to hand things over to Carol Krueger from Hardin-Simmons University, who is our monthly Accudemia User Spotlight speaker. Carol, you are welcome to share your screen and tell us whatever you like. Thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your experience using Accudemia.
Okay, so hi, I'm Carol Krueger. I'm from Hardin-Simmons University. I hold several titles here, but today I'm going to be talking about my position as director of the Academic Center for Enrichment. So let's see if I can make this move forward. So a little bit about Hardin-Simmons University. We're located in Abilene, Texas. We have just under 1,700 students, undergrad students. We are a private faith-based university and have more than 50 bachelor and minor programs. So we do have what we call our ACE Center, or the Academic Center for Enrichment, and this is where we use Accudemia. This is our tutoring program. So we have the tutoring program, and then we also have the writing center. And these are a couple of pictures from from their location. All right. So our ACE Center, as I'll refer to it, is centrally located on campus in the campus library. We have only face-to-face visits. We don't do any virtual visits at all anymore. It's all face-to-face. So it's located in the first floor of our library. We're open from Sunday through Thursday from 3 o'clock in the afternoon until 10 at night. And then Friday and Saturday, students can set up appointments with some of our, what we call our ACEs, or our tutors. Right now, I oversee 21 ACEs, or tutors, and we are a CRLA. Most of you are probably familiar with that. CRLA Certified Tutoring Center, Level 1. So we use Accudemia a lot to make sure that we're keeping up with that information for our certificate. Our ACE program, in our ACE program, we want to create a culture of good habits for our students that lead to academic success. We want them to understand that there's collaborative learning that can take place there in a community, that they're not alone in this academic adventure they're on. So let me talk a bit about how we train our ACEs in Accudemia. So this year I had to hire, I think, six new ACEs for the fall. So we use a kiosk for our students to sign in. I have a picture there of our kiosk. With our new hires, we go through a session where I train them on just how to log in, how to get themselves signed in as an ACE, so that they can tutor and they can keep up with notes and all the things that they need to with Accudemia. I also review our current returning ACEs to make sure that they're up to par with how to use the program. And then we try to pair our returning ACEs with our new ACEs to do some peer training. So some of our ACEs that have been around for a while, they know some of the tips and tricks that I don't necessarily know. And so they can help our new hires. This year, we're really focusing on our ACEs, making sure that they're writing log notes. They got a little lax about it this last semester, and so we're focusing on that. And then that they remind the students that they're working with to be sure they're signing in and signing out and signing in for the right classes. So Accudemia, how does it benefit our university as a whole? So using this program, this data collection system, it helps us with retention of students just by providing data, accessible data. It keeps us up to par on student engagement data as far as academic resources that are available. It helps us keep up with the documentation of the hours that are required for our tutors for our CRLA certification. It helps me make decisions on budgeting as far as how many ACEs I need and how many subject areas we need. Then it also provides us with institutional academic history. So we're able to go back into Accudemia and look back at historically tutoring and how our attendance was and so forth. Accudemia benefits our tutors by providing record keeping for their tutor certifications. It provides logs from previous sessions. That's probably their most liked application of this program, that they're able to write logs on what they did with their students. It provides experience for them for later employment on keeping up with data, and then the responsibility that comes with documentation of their work and the leadership that builds. Accudemia benefits our students by the use of log notes. It's efficient and it saves time. So when our students come in and the tutor wrote log notes, then our students can jump right back into where they left off the last time they were there. So it's efficient. It provides documentation. Some of our students are required to have documentation that they came to tutoring for athletics or for certain classes. So we're able to provide that to the coaches and professors. And then it encourages our students to return for multiple sessions. I think that when our tutors are writing down log notes and jotting down, today we worked on this, next week we'll work on these next things, our students are more likely to come back when there's a plan in place for them. So I want to show you a few examples of how we use data collection for Accudemia and our decision making. Some of the ways that we do use it are semester comparisons, days of the week comparisons, subject comparisons, and student return times. As he was presenting earlier about appointments, we don't do appointments. Students are allowed to walk in, and so they just walk in and sign in and then work with the tutors that are available. We have a schedule for our tutors that is put out where students know who's working and when they're working and what subject areas. So they just come during that time that their subject is being tutored. This first little chart that I have compared attendance by semester. I've gone back to the fall of 2019. So Accudemia allows me to look back. This is when our ACE program actually started, was in the fall of 2019. And boy, they got off to a great start, got off and running. And then we all know spring came along. And we know that spring students don't tend to be as engaged for whatever reason as they were in the fall. But then we had COVID come along, and I want to thank you guys from Accudemia for quickly pivoting and allowing us to set up virtual Zoom meetings for tutoring. So that spring and then the fall of 2020, those were all virtual. And then as we started to come back to face-to-face in the spring of 21, we have seen a rise again in our attendance. The last chart there, fall of 2022, this is what we've already had 84 visits to our ACE as documented through Accudemia. So we're off to a good start. This is only our third week of classes and we've had 84 visits already. So I'm very, very hopeful that we are making a recovery from that COVID time. But with the data that we're able to get from Accudemia, we're able to see that and monitor our attendance. One of the charts that I like to look at is visits by day. So I have to hire students to work in my ACE center. I'm responsible for hiring them and making sure that we're using our money, our budget money wisely. So I look at this regularly to see what days of the week are the most used in order for me to put my ACEs on those days. So I'm not paying people to be there when there's not a lot of students there. So I look at this regularly, and this is pretty much the trend that I see. Monday and Tuesday are our busiest days. So if you were to look at our ACE schedule, Monday and Tuesday, we have the most ACEs working for those days. Then I also look at the hours that are most used. The evening times are the hours that our students use most. And so we have most of our ACEs available in the evenings on Monday and Tuesday. Visits by subject area. This may be hard to see, but this allows me to know which types of ACEs I need to hire. If I need to hire ACEs that are science and math or English, or here we have to take Bible. So it allows me to see where the attendance is the highest. Normally chemistry is the highest, chemistry and anatomy and physiology in our math classes. Right now, this chart was developed from just the first 3 weeks of this semester. And so right now what we're seeing is anatomy and physiology, and then algebra are our two most visited, as along with our speech communications course. So this allows me to know I need to make sure that I have plenty of ACEs available for biology, for the sciences and the maths. I also like to show this information to professors and say, we're not seeing students coming from your program, so they can help to promote our tutoring program based on this data. And it's actually kind of funny, it's become kind of a competition among the professors to get the highest attendance in our ACE program. Another thing that I like to look at is the student return times. So how many visits does a student actually have in our ACE program? This chart would show that the majority of the students coming to ACE for tutoring only come one time. So I need to work on getting students to come more than one time to have effective tutoring. So one thing we put in place this year, we have put in some incentives for students. We have a couple of surveys that we have put in place on Accudemia that they would fill out on their first visit, their third visit, and their fifth visit. Those students who have filled those out for those visits will then be entered into a drawing for a prize that we have. And so we're encouraging students to come, to try to come and repeat visits. This allows us to see the engagement that we're having in our ACE program and also the effectiveness of our tutoring. So some of the challenges that we have faced, we have a very limited budget in our program. And so we have not been able to really access some of the finer bells and whistles that I would like to access, but we have been able to use the Accudemia program very well, even with our limited budget for hiring ACEs and for using this program. COVID, of course, was a challenge for everyone, and Accudemia guys stepped up and really helped us to get through that time. Then one of the other challenges that we face is skewed data, and trying to make sure that our athletes, our students log in, log out, log into the right classes and to with the right ACE that they're working with, so that we have data that is accurate and valid. We're putting that pressure onto our ACEs to make sure that the students they work with have done that this year. So I asked my tutors for their perspectives of the program, Accudemia. And these were some of the things that they said. They all loved the log notes and the comments and being able to leave log notes, and how much time it saves when they look back at their log notes to see what they did last time the student came in, or maybe with another student that was in the same course. They also like that we're able to track student attendance to ACE for our student success coaches. Students who might be struggling and they are being helped through our student success coaches, we can tell them whether or not they have been to our ACE program by using Accudemia and being able to look at their attendance there. Another one of my ACEs talked about how log notes keep you posted on the services that other ACEs provided. So if a student came to me today and then went to someone else next time, they could still see what I did with them. And they love that, being able to do that and look back. They all commented that it was user-friendly, that they didn't have very much difficulty working through the program at all, that it was user-friendly. One student talked about a phone app And I know that there was a phone app, but right now we don't have the licenses for that. And so we just use the website. The students use their computers to log in and log out in our kiosk system. So I believe that is the end of my presentation on how we use Accudemia. It is very useful. It is a great data collection device and great for us to use in our tutoring program. We really appreciate it. So thank you, Rachel. I'll turn it back to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Carol. That was really lovely. Does anybody have any questions? We do have a comment from Nick. This is a great look at how you're able to use Academia's reports to know exactly what is happening throughout the semester at the ACE Center. I thoroughly agree. Using those reports is so important. Thank you everybody for your time today. We hope you have a great rest of your week, and as we will see you the next second Tuesday, so that is going to be October 11th. We will see you then. Bye, everybody.